Hello, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss the lesson A Tale of Three Villages. Means story of three villages. A tale of three villages means tale means nothing but story of three villages. So today let us confine to third village, VOROBYOV village. What is the name of that village? VOROBYOV village, Ukraine. Formerly it was called USSR. What is the full form of USSR? Union Soviet Socialist Republic. Union Soviet Socialist Republic. Okay. So with every instance of scientific development, we are inching towards destruction. Besides good, the technological advancements have always brought something bad. That is what happened in Ukraine in 1986. The nuclear reactor was exploded. How it exploded? What happened? It happened when the nuclear power plant was operated by some inadequately trained persons. Inadequately trained persons means not well trained, not up to the mark. So some inadequately trained persons operated that nuclear power plant. So it exploded. Several people died. About 3,500 people were diagnosed with thyroid cancers. Around 3,500,000 people were evacuated from that place. So students, industrialization and urbanization are good to any country. Industrialization and urbanization are good for any economy. But proper monitoring is important. Otherwise, it may lead to number of problems. So, my dear students, when you grow up become industrialist, take a note of environment. So, if you become an industrialist, take necessary precautions. Take necessary precautions to protect our environment. Otherwise, it may lead to disasters. Okay, students, let us get into the lesson. It happened on April the 26th, 1986. It happened on April the 26th, 1986. I remember the day because it was my mother's birthday. So here it happened on April the 26th, means here the 26th, 1986. So they are emphasizing, means there is some more importance on that day. What is that important means? Her mother's birthday. Her mother's birthday. Who is she? We'll know now. We heard the explosion early in the morning. We didn't worry because there had been explosions before from Chernobyl. But this one was bigger. Everyone stopped what they were doing and listened. Then we ran out into the garden. We could see a cloud of white smoke coming from the nuclear reactor. Natasha Revenko wiped her hands nervously on her apron. Tears came to the corner of her eyes and slid slowly down her pinched pale yellow cheeks. See students, it happened on April 26, 1986. What happened on that day? What happened on that day? There was an explosion. There was an explosion on that day. What is the meaning of explosion? The sudden violent bursting such as bomb exploding. But here it is not bomb exploding. Here it is not bomb exploding. It is nuclear reactor exploding in Chernobyl. It is a nuclear reactor exploding in Chernobyl. So here, see my dear students, in this lesson whatever you see in the quotation marks, in this lesson, whatever you see in the quotation marks, it is said by Natasha Revenko, the narrator. Natasha Revenko is the narrator of this lesson. Whatever words were in quotation marks, whatever you see in quotation marks, all these were said by the narrator Natasha Revenko. Understand? So, here Natasha Revenko says, we didn't afraid, we didn't worried. Why? It was a huge explosion, no. What is Natasha Revenko saying? We didn't worried. Why? Because, why means, they have heard many explosions like this. They have heard many explosions like this from Chernobyl. Here, look at Chernobyl. What is the meaning of Chernobyl? The site near Ukraine, where nuclear power plant was set up. Chernobyl means the site near the Ukraine where nuclear power plant was set up. Understand? Next, why they have not worried? Means they have heard many explosions like this, but this explosion was different from those explosions, but this explosion was bigger than any other explosions she heard before. Everyone stopped what they were doing and listened. Then we ran out into the garden. We could see a cloud of white smoke coming from the nuclear reactor. We could see a cloud of white smoke coming from the nuclear reactor. So, what is the meaning of nuclear reactor? Nuclear reactor is nothing but a large setup or large machinery where it produces nuclear energy. By it means we can generate electricity. Nuclear reactor is nothing but a large machine which produces nuclear energy. With that nuclear energy, we can generate electricity. Understand? Here, Natasha Revenko wiped her hands nervously on her apron. Natasha Revenko wiped her hands nervously. Why? What is the meaning of nervous? Anxious manner, worried manner. Anxious manner, worried manner. On her apron, tears came corner of the eyes and slid slowly down her pinched, pale cheeks. Slid. Slide present tense, slid past tense. Slid means moved. Here, tears came or tears moved slowly down her pinched, pale cheeks. So, pinched, pale are adjectives here. Why? So, these two words are qualifying noun. These two words are qualifying noun. These two words are modifying noun. These two words are giving extra information about noun. Noun here, cheeks. So, how are the cheeks? Pinched means thin, unhealthy. Thin, unhealthy. Pale means here dull, not bright. The cheeks were thin, unhealthy, dull, bright. Okay. So, it was a Saturday. She went on still wiping her hands on her apron. She went on, she continued wiping her hands. She continued wiping her hands on her apron. Wiping means to rub on a surface with something. To rub on a surface with something means she is wiping her hand on her apron. What is the meaning of apron? Means, according to a glossary, a piece of clothing that covers the front part of your clothes and it is tied around your waist. A piece of clothing that covers the front part of your clothes and is tied around waist. So, see, this is a picture of, this is the apron, usually wear at kitchen rooms and doctors as well. This is the apron. Understand? It was a lovely warm day. It was a lovely warm day and the children played outside all weekend. Weekend means, you know, Saturdays and Sundays are weekends. It was a lovely day because holiday, no? It is a warm day, holiday, joy day. They are playing joyfully. They picked up handful of it and threw at each other laughing. They picked up handful of what they have picked up handful of. They picked up handful of it and threw at each other. What is the meaning of handful? Handful means nothing but an amount that you can hold in a hand. Like you can hold something like sugar, rice, sand, like that. Understand? Even when the dust began to fall, they still played outside. Even when the dust began to fall, they still played outside. They still played outside, ignoring what was the dust. Here dust means radioactive dust. Dust refers to the radioactive dust that was coming from nuclear reactor explosion. It is very dangerous, very harmful. Ignoring that dangerous, ignoring that harmful, they were playing outside with the dust. Here dust means, dust refers to radioactive dust that was coming from the nuclear reactor explosion. So they picked up handful of it and threw at each other. They are throwing at each other. They picked handful of dust, means radioactive dust, and they started throwing at each other, laughing. It was Wednesday. Before the loudspeaker van came into the village, telling us to keep our children indoors and not to touch the radioactive dust. So some people came in a van with the loudspeakers. They told them, don't allow children outdoors, not to allow children outdoors. Keep shut inside the houses. They also told us to wash down our houses and roads with water. They also told us to wash down the houses and roads with water. They, who are they? Maybe the people sent by authorities. They came in a van with loudspeakers and told all these people to wash down their houses. So what is the meaning of wash down? To clean something with large amount of water, to clean something with plenty of water. So what they told to all these people? To wash down their houses. Why? Because radioactive settles on the road and houses. Radioactive dust has settled on the roads and houses. That's why they told all these people to wash down their houses. So next, a week later, the children began to vomit. See, a week later, the children began to vomit, started vomitings. Their hair fell out. Their hair fell out. They are losing their hair. They couldn't eat. They are not able to eat. They grew so thin. They grew so thin. And sores appeared all over their little body. So very pathetic, no? Sores appeared all over their little body. Sores means wounds. A painful infection caused all over the bodies. 2 weeks after that, all three died. 2 weeks after that, all three died. All three on the same day. All three died on the same day. Very, very pathetic. All three died on the same day. She broke down and cried quietly. She broke down and cried quietly. What is the meaning of broke down? Lost control of feeling and started crying. Lost control of feelings. She lost her control. She means all three children died on the same day. How can anyone can control emotions? How can anyone can control the feelings? So she broke down. She broke down. Broke down meaning lost control of feelings and started crying. As she had done so many times before. As she had done so many times before. What is the meaning of this? As she had done so many times before. Means this is not the first time she is crying. This is not the first time she is crying. Whenever she remembered that ghastly incident, she cries. Whenever she remembers the terrific, deadly, ghastly incident, she cries. So, this is not the first time. So, they are buried over there. They are buried over there. They are means small children who were died. Small children who were dead. Here, buried. B-U-R-Y, present tense, B-U-R-I-E-D, past tense. So, here pronunciation is B-U-R-Y is bury, not bury or bury. Not bury or bury. Pronunciation is bury, buried. Bury, buried. So, here they buried over there. She pointed to the church graveyard. Graveyard means where the dead bodies are kept or buried. Lots of village children and adults. Lots of children were dead and adults because of this radioactive dust. Because of this radioactive dust. See, students, I touched her gently on the shoulder, leaving her to her bitter sweet memories. So, listen carefully. I touched her gently on the shoulder. Here, I is not Natasha Revenko. I is not Natasha Revenko. It is the woman who went with Natasha to that place. So, I refers here the woman who went with Natasha to that place, the woman who accompanied with Natasha to that place. So, I touched her gently. I touched her gently means who is I here? That woman who accompanied, who went with Natasha to that place. So, she touched her gently on her shoulder. Gently means softly, nicely, affectionately. Leaving her to her bitter sweet memories. Leaving her bitter sweet memories. Memories that are good and bad. Memories that are good and bad. So, here my dear students, bitter memories were she lost her children. Bitter memories were she lost her children. Sweet memories were at least she sees the children graveyard or children tombs. The sweet memories were at least she is able to see her children graves or children tombs. And walked on through the silence. So, everyone was silent there. It was a ghost town. Here, ghost town refers to a deserted place. No one is living. So, they are either died or forced to evacuate. Understand? Ghost town refers to a deserted place, a deserted town. No one is living. They are either died or forced to evacuate. Means, so here authorities have forced them to shift to another place, from danger place to safer place. So, authorities have shifted them from danger place to safer place. Why they have shifted them forcibly? Because they are not willing to move. Why the authorities have forced them to move? They means they have forced means they are not willing to move from that place. So, the fields were barren, nothing grew. The fields were barren, nothing grew. Means the soil became unfertile. Nothing grew. Because of this radioactive dust, soil also became, the soil becomes unfertile. So, unfit for cultivation. So, nothing ever would again. So, what is saying here? The fields were barren, nothing grew, nothing ever would again. There is no hope in coming days. It will cultivate. So, there is no question of cultivation again here because of this radioactive dust. So, there was no bird song, no rabbit peered at me, no cow endlessly chewed, no horse neighed. See, nothing. There is no living creature in that village, VOROBYOV village. See, there was no bird song, no birds, no rabbit peered at me. See, rabbits usually run fast and all of a sudden it stops and peered looking here and there. This is the nature of the rabbit. So here, no rabbit peered at me. No cow endlessly chewed. There were no horses to make sound. There were no horses to make sound. Next, Natasha caught me up as we boarded the bus marked Moscow. Natasha caught me up. Catch up, present tense. Past, caught up. Means reach somebody by going very fast. Reach somebody by going very fast. What is the meaning of caught up? Caught up is a phrasal verb. As you all know, what is the meaning of phrasal verb? Phrasal verb is a verb followed by a preposition. The combination of two words creates a different meaning than the verb alone. Here, phrasal verb is caught up. Caught is verb, up is preposition. Catch up, present tense, past tense, caught up. Caught, verb, up, preposition. The combination of two words creates a different meaning than the verb alone. Those are called phrasal verbs. So, what is the meaning of caught up? Reach somebody by going fast. So, here Natasha caught me up. Me refers to writer. Me refers to here writer. The woman who accompanied Natasha to that place. The woman who went with Natasha to that place. She is the writer here. Natasha caught me up as we boarded the bus marked Moscow. So, boarded. What is the meaning of boarded? So, get on into a train or bus or a plane. Say both boarded the bus marked Moscow, capital city of Russia. Thank you for coming with me, she said. So, Natasha is saying, thank you very much. Thank you for coming with me, said Natasha. I wanted to see the graves and the house again before I die. See, what is Natasha saying? What is the narrator saying? I wanted to see the graves and the house again before I die. So, she was okay here. She was still alive. But what is she saying? I wanted to see the graves and the house again before I die. Before she dies, she wanted to see the house and graves again. Okay, student. Thank you very much for watching. So, we will meet in next video. Thank you.